Welcome to Voice of Reason.
A very good day to you, Albert. Thank you so much for joining us on yet another interesting episode of the special interview series. This afternoon, I have a notable son of Yoruba land, a chief, of course, from Ogun State. Where in Ogun State, you want to know? Okay, from Ijebu land, precisely. I will be engaging in on series of issues that border on the Yoruba nation. Of course, my guests believe in Yoruba nation and the cause of emancipating the people of the region from shackles of oppressions. Okay, there is this popular belief among the Yoruba that the Yorubas are not occupying their rightful places. My guest will be telling us more on the program this afternoon. He is Otunba Deji Osibogun. A very good afternoon to you.
Thank you very much.
It is good to have you. Let me inform our viewers that this interview series is coming to you courtesy of Voice of Reason, VOR. Let me start this way. I'm aware you are involved in the Yoruba World Congress of a project. What informed that?
Well, the Yoruba World Congress was a child of necessity. Because if you remember way back then, we had organized the Yoruba rally, restructuring rally, held at Adamasingba. And for the first time, again, most Yoruba organizations joined in that rally. I remember Ariana Okakamfo, Danny Adams, Afenifere was led by Passionati, Adebanjo, Yoruba Council of Elders. We had Bishop Ladibudu, Kunle Olajide, Afenifere Renewal. We had Wale Oshun, Voice of Reason. We had the late Goke Omishore. We had late Bucknor, if I'm right, and we had quite a whole lot of people, Alexis, Shonibare. So it was really the first and only time we had a conglomeration of Yorubas coming together to lend a voice to the need for us to restructure Nigeria. And the presentation was well presented. Even the Oni of Ife came to that rally. So that symbolized unity. And from there, because of reasons known to quite a few, the organizations therein gathered decided to go ahead and move the train further by ensuring that we have an umbrella organization that can from there go ahead and propel and marshal our points. But this was at a point at which ego, indiscipline, and self-righteousness took over. And before you knew it, people were being termed as renegades, rebels, those who didn't want the future for Yoruba land, and kind of animosity that was created did not give room for cooperation or cohesiveness. Then we then decided that we should form the Yoruba World Congress, which was going to be an association where all Yoruba groups and organizations would be, and where probity, accountability, and development of Yoruba land would be foremost in the minds of those who are going to run the organization. So that was the birth of Yoruba World Congress. That was a need for Yoruba World Congress, which was then duly formed, world recognized, and things then started happening again.
So it's been a while. Is Yoruba World Congress still in existence?
For someone that helped create something, you don't pray for the death of your child. So I would not say it's dead, but I would say it's still there, a victim of circumstance, and it can always be restructured or resurfaced sometime in the future. Maybe not us, maybe some another set of people.
I threw that up because I'm aware also that so many groups have emanated from the Yoruba World Congress.
Yes, you do recall that the Yoruba World Congress fell to pieces, basically because of ego, indiscipline, lack of probity and accountability, and the self-righteous way and manner we Yorubas always attend to issues. Before the Yoruba World Congress did emerge, a group of us also from the Adamasigba rally, because I always tell people that rally was a rallying point for so many of us, and it was from there that the idea to get a frontline leader for Yoruba land came up. And from history, fortune has always thrown leaders in our laps, and a few of us went through the list of people that are being proposed, some on the count of age, like Pa Adebanjo, Gonigi, Professor Misogunsheye, and others declined because of age. And the only person then that was ready to hold the mantle of leadership then happened to be Professor Banji Akintoye.
Was it well accepted at that time?
Well, you know how it is. Nobody with Yoruba land is very difficult. You don't just come and say, this man is the leader of Yorubas, and everybody would accept. Even the great Awolowo, when they called him leader of Yorubas, some people said, nah, he's not our own leader, it's some people's leader. So that would always happen. Now we knew it was going to happen. So no matter how you look at it, when Akintoye came up, it was challenged. Some people even said a group of riffraffs were the ones that picked him. Today, if you look at the scenario ever since we picked Akintoye till date, you will now discover that if we didn't pick Akintoye, then who then would be the one that will be doing all the in quotes dirty jobs that so many people are running away from. So Providence picked Akintoye.
Okay, so leading the Yoruba race, is it dirty?
Yeah, it's not dirty. It's filled with intrigues. It's filled with campaign of calumny. It's filled with lies. It's filled with deceit. It's filled with not maneuvering each other. It's filled with not being consistent with the truth. That's why it's even dirtier than politics. But one thing is certain: if you're a Yoruba man and you truly believe in the Yoruba cause, no matter what is thrown against you or thrown up against you, you must be ready to weather the storm and forge ahead and ensure that you deliver the goals and objectives of your organization.
So these challenges you listed, is that the reason why it's been so difficult getting someone to be the rallying point?
But I don't think Yoruba can have a rallying point. Even Igboho that came up was hero worshipped into detention. Was praise sung into the gallows. Let's go back to Awolowo again. By the time Awolowo did all he was doing for the Western region. If he had waited and not gone to contest at the federal level, he would have had another 4 years of solid development and solid growth of the mystical status of Obafemi Awolowo. But the minute he went for that, and Olule, as you will say now, the minute Tibaba Lule, coming back home, he found so many people. Yeah, but because when there's power, there are a whole lot of people. There's right, left, center. There are people in front and at the back. The people who now felt that this is our own opportunity resented his coming back, and the crisis went on. So it's àti ayé báyé ní ọ̀tẹ̀ ti wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, and you cannot get rid of it overnight. The only way you can get rid of it is you have to be forthright, you have to be truthful, you have to be honest, you must not be self-serving. If you can do all that, I don't think you should have a problem.
So, with all of these challenges identified, I'm just wondering, why then is there division in Yoruba land?
The Yoruba nation signed a treaty several years ago after the Kiriji War. What caused it was purely slave trade in parts, and the need for a man's desire to acquire more than he already has. It was simple. I just give that as a simple reason for it. There are other intriguing reasons. And if, as at then, we all signed a treaty to trade with ourselves, you sell granite, I sell tomato, we exchange, our borders are the same, we look for minerals, we construct roads together. If way back then we could have achieved that, what stopped us from going further to achieve more was, one, the Awolowo catastrophe, and two, the reason for wanting to be part of a Federal Republic of Nigeria, where there is no equity, where there is no justice, where there is no freedom. So the lack of equity, the lack of justice, the lack of freedom continues to abort the Yoruba's natural desire to excel, to be more than where I am today. Yoruba nìyẹn, mi ò gbọ́dọ̀ bí ríbi ìtànà. But it is not possible when all chains of government, all arms of government are not in your control. So for 60 years, we cannot build another cocoa house. We cannot. Why? The psychology that we built that story building with proceeds from cocoa, and we cannot build a hut in each state that is producing cocoa years after, says a lot. So our stunted growth is as a result of our continued existence in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And there's no story about that. Don't forget, the last time we had a political party in Nigeria was when we had UPN, NPN.
The ones we have present.
No, who is in charge of the party? When the governor can tell the whole state chairman that he should go to hell. In those days, Bisi Onabanjo cannot tell the UPN chairman in Ogun State to go to hell. He cannot, never, can't try it. No senator dares. But now, we're so disciplined. If you can write a manifesto of a party, and number one thing says restructuring, and 8 years after, you have not said, you are not even pronouncing re. Not to talk of structure. No, you are not even. Instead, you are destroying the structure on a day-to-day basis. So when you have that kind of people running, I don't say they're running our lives, they're ruining our lives. Ruining our lives, it becomes very difficult for you to wake up in a day and say, yes, I am being positive minded, I will have something positive to show, to give to this country, and you don't. You can't. Because if your governor does not stop you, the federal government will stop you. None of them is accountable. There's no senator that has come before TV or radio and said, yes, I was given 500 million naira constituency allowance, this is what I have spent it on. Well, till date, you and I do not know how much senators are earning. It's as bad as that. We don't know how much members of, we don't know anything. And the people are so laid back, so lazy, that they cannot even fight. But I don't blame them also at the same time. Because 32 years of putting your hands behind for military rulers has killed our psyche, killed our initiative, killed even the thought of you wanting to say, look, this is not good. That is why you continue to have potholes on our roads, because there's nobody. It is only when the governor applies that road and his car gets into a gallop once or twice and say, Titi Yomada, we'll tell the commissioner for works. If he doesn't go through that road, he will never. Look at Ibadan Ijebu road. There's a crater that will take a trailer, line completely. And it's there. And we have senators. We have governors who have relatives who are going up and down. Pictures of it is showing. So must things degenerate to a state of anarchy before there's intervention of good minds?
So let's talk about 2023. One man has come out to say Emi Lokan, and a cross section of Yoruba people have bought into it. So it looks like the Yoruba project come 2023. Is it really the thing of the Yorubas?
Self-righteousness, selfish interest is the meaning of Lokan. Rightly, people can say it's a Yoruba project because a Yoruba man is vying for it. But what we say is that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that either Emi Lokan or articulated or obedient are going to run, is so faulty that the fear beyond 2023 is my own problem. That constitution is a dynamite. That constitution is a big, dangerous weapon that if it gets into the hands of the candidates we have now, whether Emi Lokan or articulated or anyway, it spells doom for Nigeria. It spells doom. And I've asked one of the elder statesmen, particularly one who ruled, as I said, how? He said, but I ruled, it was the same constitution. No, I said, no. The same constitution is different from the people who now want to run it. One of them was the vice president in Nigeria. One of them was the governor of Lagos State. One of them was the governor of Anambra. And the three of them, for me, they don't have my pass map. No. They don't have my pass map. Why? Because of the antecedents. Their antecedents. If we want a monarch, if we want an empire ruled by an emperor, okay, we can say yes, Emi Lokan. If we want to continue the further north ruling over Nigeria, yes, we can say our local. If we can say that we are voting for a certain future because A has done it, B has done it, C has not done it, let us go under C and see how much suffering we can get under him before we all get our acts together. It won't be there. So what I'm saying in practical terms is around locum to know the truth, to hear the truth, to see the truth. It's not you, not me. The people out there who are suffering. But who will take 200 naira, 3,000 naira, 4,000 naira to run after your campaign train? I think they are the ones that need good governance, which, to my mind, is not likely to happen with the constitution in the hands of a few people we have mentioned.
This is how some persons have termed it. Okay, a Yoruba man is in the contest this time around. These Yoruba leaders, the whole of the southwestern region, can't they just queue behind theirs?
You see, it's difficult. The others say, I'll be very frank with you, and those who know me will say, I'll say my mind. You see, with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, no matter how Yoruba he is, till date, people can bear me out. He has not shown that kind of that kind of love and affection for what the Yoruba people want. We have a 10 points chart of demands. Part of these 10 points, if a Yoruba man sees it, he should be able to say yes. Any Yoruba, this 10-point demand that you have given me, when I come into power, I'm going to implement it for the good of Yorubas and the entire nation. If he's unable to do that, then it will be a long time, take a long time before you can amass the votes of this area. You can go to Kano. Votes of Yorubas cannot wait for you just tomorrow. You have to start working for it. In other words, what I'm saying is, if Bola Tinubu really wants to be seen as a Yoruba candidate, he must do more, talk more, show more of the reasons why Yorubas should blindly follow him like they follow the Lord.
But for now, you're yet to see that.
Is it clear to you? Is it clear to everybody, even the cameraman? Is it clear to the people watching us? Let's be frank with ourselves. It's only the truth that would get us out of here. And without fear of favor, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is an elder brother. Grew up in Ibadan together. And I'll be factual. And I say this again, just like I told, I say this to Buhari also, that Buhari would leave a good name behind if he can try to restructure Nigeria, if he can try and encourage the National Assembly to amend the Constitution in such a way that most of the things on the exclusive legislative list now are removed. So those are my own standpoints.
Has Buhari not achieved that, or is he not working towards achieving it? If you consider the fact that the Ninth Assembly has forwarded a draft proposal of the
when Buhari wanted people to vote, there was a way he did it now. Yes, at the convention, when he wanted people to vote finally for Bola Tinubu. There's a way he did it. If Muhammad Buhari wants the constitution to be amended in 2 weeks, he knows what to do, he knows how they are going to do it. But because of the interest of the cabal that surround him, they are not going to allow him to do that. That constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that was handed over by Abubakar Abdul Salam to Olusegun Obasanjo, that small error of the Armed Forces Ruling Council not being able to thoroughly go through that document before approving it as the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and transiting it into a civilian is the greatest crime that has been committed against democracy. And unknowingly for Obasanjo, by the time he was accepting to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he had not studied it. It was his craftiness of studying it that he used for his first 4 years. His second 4 years, when the heat was on him, because the people who handed the constitution over to him now knew that, okay, this constitution must not last in this man's hands for 4 years. He wanted the extension, or people said he wanted the extension, so as to be able to convey the message of amending the constitution. It failed him. Yar'Adua failed him. Jonathan tried. Yes, he set up something, and they told him, okay, very good document, please put it in the locker.
So restructuring, are we confused about it? How can it be achieved?
Well, the issue is that we need to be organized. The issue of restructuring has some phases. One is the legal phase. 2, that's legal and judiciary. 2 is the legislative. 3 is the political. Now, if we are unable to harness the 3, we are not going to be able to. That is, let's get ourselves organized. What do we say? You earlier said that the National Assembly has sent amendments to some states. Out of them, at least, I think 3 Yoruba states signed off, 3 have not. Why are those 3 not signing off? So what we say is that legislative angle towards a restructured nation, we must get a team to work assiduously to make sure that all the state House of Assembly get enough notification and get the approval of this. It is only after that another team can take it to the National Assembly and ensure that it is not tampered with. We are not doing that. So, the legislative angle, we are 0. On the judicial, there are some things that need to be contested in court. The right of the waterways, police. Let the court pronounce a judgment, good or bad, we know. We need to do that. Politically also is, how have you done with your propaganda, with your getting people behind the need for us to have a restructured nation? How many people believe that on the streets, àtúntò ní restructuring? Igwe Kotun Nigeria too. How many people in Dugbe? How many people in Makola? How many people in Okeaje? How many people in Oyinbo? How many people in Abadeshida Market? How many people can come out and say yes, àtúntò Nigeria, I want for us, even if you want to vote for it? So, I mean, to answer your question, it's a three-pronged attack, and those three-pronged attack is like a fork, and we are not ready at all to handle that instrument so that we can have restructuring. So that's a failure in our clamor for restructuring.
Thank you so much, Otunba Deji Osibogun, for your time on the program. That's what we're going to call it a wrap. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. I remain Anu Wapo of Moridi on behalf of Voice of Reason.